Welcome to the Toke&Trans. What do I say? Welcome to the Toke&Trans podcast, where we talk life, love, and getting high. Grab a J and join us. We do not condone the consumption of illicit activities with anyone under the age of 21.
All right, so this episode is a little sexual in nature. We're talking about some triggering things. So if you are not in a good headspace to listen to that right now, I would save this for later and watch one of the other episodes in our podcast.
Welcome to the Toke&Trans podcast, everybody. It's the usual two stoners here, Aaron and Bo.
Yes. We have pre-gamed. We are stoned. We are ready to talk about the tales of navigating our dating scenes that may not have been the greatest. Probably our worst dates.
We're talking about our worst dates. Yeah,
we're talking about our worst stuff right now. So we're just gonna break it down for you and share the cautionary tales and just give you some insight on the rough parts sometimes of dating as a trans person.
Hopefully you can glean some lessons from these, because doggy,
they're not ones you want to repeat. Like, just trust us on these. That these were rough on us, our hearts, on our brains, on our bodies, and we are ready to share. We are ready to share. Shit.
All right. So who's going first?
You already know, bro. You are going first. Bo is kicking us off with his worst dating experience. What do you got for us, bro?
Let's see here. Oh my god. Okay, yeah. So this is I have these like chronologically. I'm sure there was shit in between. This was all I could remember. And so it starts when I'm 15. That's when I meet like my first serious boyfriend. And so I was over at his house, and we were both 15, 16, you know. And it was nighttime, and we were out on his in his backyard, and he lived out in the middle of bumfuck nowhere, Delaware, and so there wasn't a lot of light pollution. You could see the stars really well out there. So, you know, we were being like fucking angsty, romantic, fucking punk kids, and listening to fucking Snow Patrol. And looking at the stars, talking about how much we love each other. Oh my god. And then we start kissing, and we start making out, and he's on his back, and I like get on top of him to kiss him, and I put my hands on the ground, and I put my hand directly into a steaming pile of dog shit.
No.
Yes, Aaron.
Bro.
Yes, I did.
Oh god.
Yes, I did.
That's so gross.
Yep. I was horrified.
What did you do?
I was mortified.
I'm like getting
Yeah.
No.
I had no idea. First of all, that means he was laying right next to dog shit. We didn't know it.
That's really close. Yeah.
We could have just been laying in dog shit. I didn't know.
Like, oh, a pill.
This was like my first time at his house. I didn't know that, number one, he had a dog before that. Number two, that I don't know, that they didn't clean up the shit in the backyard. I don't know.
Oh my gosh, that is rough.
He was the one that was like, let's lay down and watch it. Like, why would you suggest laying down if you knew that there was a possibility of dog shit at night? Like, it's not like we could see it.
So what did you do? Were you like,
did
you like
screamed?
Yep. You screamed.
Well, first I sat up and I was like, what was that? And I smelled it like immediately, and I was like, oh my god, it's dog shit. Oh my god. I screamed, and my boyfriend was like not helpful.
Oh my gosh.
And he was laughing at me. And I was just trying to get inside and wash my fucking hands. I was screaming and crying. It was not funny at all. I was so upset.
Oh, dude, that's just not it. That is ultimate not it. No way.
Yeah. Oh my God. I can't believe that shit. It was fucking terrible.
The pun intended. Oh my God. No. Give me another one. I want another one before I go.
Okay. All right. With that same boyfriend.
Okay.
We went to the state fair and by ourselves and like with no money. And I ended up getting dehydrated at the fair, which is just like
easy to
super fucking cringe. Like
everyone
who gets fucking dehydrated at the fair?
What do you mean everyone? It's hot as hell.
I know, I'm being sarcastic.
Oh. Yeah, I missed it.
So I'm just because I'm like 16. I'm like super embarrassed. Like, oh my God, I have needs. Oh. It's so hard to pretend like I'm the cool gal that doesn't care about anything while I'm suffering from heat stroke.
It's tough.
And yeah, and then so a kind woman gave me some ice water and I sat down and she was fanning me and
I
exhaled out of my nose.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently when I did that.
No.
And apparently when I did that, a big booger just descended and was hanging there.
Oh my God.
And I didn't know about it until my boyfriend said something.
Oh my God. That's so embarrassing. Oh,
that was so embarrassing.
Bro.
Oh my God.
These are like some gross dating problems, bro. These are just like taps right off the get. Those are a little cringe, my man.
Oh my God. My face is hot. I'm reliving this embarrassment.
I can feel it. I can feel it from here, my guy. But that's okay. I appreciate you sharing these with us.
Okay, it's your turn.
My turn. My turn. I see. Mine are more like emotional. I didn't go on very many dates. I wasn't like a date around person. I was like in a relationship for a long time person because, well, I don't know, because I was
fucking virgin.
No, also, you know what? I'm not gonna share. I'm turning this off.
No!
I'm leaving the episode.
No, Aaron, I'm sorry.
You make me sick. I was not mentally sound. I was a mess. And you know, I was looking for love in all the wrong places. Yeah. So sorry. I would say the worst dating experience for me was, and I hate to get all emotional and all like the deep, but it was for me dating someone who was not out. That was the ultimate one for me. That was it was my first very real relationship with very real emotions, and so of course there was so much like incentive that like it'll happen soon, she'll come out soon, you know, I understand she can't walk with me because other people will know we're dating, and like that's okay, and I'll just settle for it, one smile per you know practice. Yeah. And like it was rough. It was a very rough experience that lasted for me, I think we were on and off for like many years, 5, 6, 7 years, just on and off. But in the beginning, it was like 3 years of trying to like work this out and like be in the her be in the closet, me be out of the closet, and me being such an obvious person that's out of the closet that guilty by association was even a concern. And you know, this person is like came out since and is living like a great life and all this, and I just couldn't, you know, I couldn't rush that. And you know, we were kids, we were in like middle and high school, so it was you know, we were still figuring things out and growing up. But yeah, I would have to say that was the worst experience is like seeing them 6 times a week and like hoping to hang out one day after you know what I mean, just like that terrible like dirty little secret feeling, you know.
Yeah, I have a very similar one I totally forgot about.
Yes.
A 3-year relationship.
Just like a little gap there.
Just a little gap. It was the one right before my current one, so I'm like
gap
concerned. But okay, so first I want to talk about my first date with this guy, and then I want to talk about the whole being in the closet thing.
I love it.
Because we dated for 3 years after this date. So he was like an outdoorsy guy or whatever. So our first date was a little hike in one of the local parks or whatever. And he was unfamiliar with it and I was unfamiliar with it. I'd never been there. And he's from Maryland. So he'd never been there either. And you know, the trail was marked and stuff, and so like I had expressed to him that I'm not an outdoorsy person. So I've never been to these kind of trails and stuff. I don't know what these symbols mean and all that stuff. So I was depending on him to, you know, get us through it. So I'm following him, and we ended up getting lost in the woods for over 2 hours.
Oh my God, how terrifying. That's a long time.
It was so scary.
Lost.
It started getting dark.
Oh no.
And yeah.
You just feel so bad.
So
I got this the whole time.
I was terrified.
Yeah.
I was not, I got this. I was very concerned.
So was he.
And oh, he was also very concerned.
Okay, yeah, okay.
He was not, I got this. At a certain point, he was very concerned. And then there was a point where he there was like this hill. It was kind of in the middle of autumn, so all the leaves had fallen. All the leaves had fallen.
Yeah.
And it was all just kind of like an orangey brown crust on the ground.
Yeah.
And so there was like this hill that was just like covered in leaves. And it was a pretty steep hill, but not super steep. Not super tall. It was super steep, but not super tall. And so, and instead of like gently walking down it, he decided to jump from it.
Oh no.
But because the leaves were covering everything, it didn't reveal the fucking swamp.
Oh gosh, no.
He went sploop
into it.
Waist deep into the muck.
Oh God, how cold.
Oh my God. I could not stop laughing. I was pissing my pants with laughter. And he was like, come on, I need help. And I'm like, I don't know what you expect me to do. Get down there so I can be stuck with you? And I'm like, I need you to come over here.
Is this when you were lost?
Hold on. Yes.
While we're
and I'm like, I need you to waddle over here so that I can hold on to this tree and also reach to get you, because I'm not fucking both of us over. I can tell you that much. Or you can stay here. I'll pin your location real quick while I find my happy ass out of here and then send for help. Because
I was gonna
No,
say.
no, absolutely not. I am not getting in there for your dumbass decided to jump down. If you
Yeah,
would have
you
walked down,
could have
like
broke your leg out there while you're
right,
lost.
like I suggested, you would have immediately known as you gently set your foot down what you thought was solid ground and it was consumed. You'd be able to climb back up again. Like fuck you. So
that was your first.
And then after that, I'm not even done.
Oh my god.
So we ended up wandering into this man's backyard, who I don't know how the fuck that happened.
Well,
suddenly we're in the woods lost.
Yeah.
And then we're in the middle of his backyard. We're in his backyard, in the fenced in area of his backyard. And all of a sudden, this big ass dog starts hurling towards us, barking. And I'm I'm just staying there and I'm like, this is how we die. This is how we fucking die. We're trespassing. We didn't mean to. And then, so like as the dog is running towards us, I see the owner. He's like, he peeked his head out and I'm like, hi, we're lost.
Hi, we're lost. Quick, right immediately. Hi.
Yeah. And then he calls off the dog and the dog is fine. And the dog is just like wagging its tail and sniffing at us. And I'm not even sure it was like coming to attack us, but
still for you,
it was fine after the owner said something. Yeah. So I don't know it was clearly a redneck and that was a big dog. Oh my God. So, so then he was very kind and he assured us that we were not the first people who wandered and lost from that park into his backyard. So he told us how to get to the road. We got to the road. We got all the way back to the car. And then he said he lost his phone. We had to go all the way back to where he jumped into the muck. We found it sitting at the base of a tree. It must have fell out just as he jumped. It fell onto a tree at the top of the hill, like not in the swamp.
The fact that you found
found it
blows my mind.
Insane. It was actually kind of helpful because it was dark.
Yeah.
Because then we could see the screen. It was on vibrate, but I could call it and we could see the screen.
Yeah.
So.
My God. Dang, I'm impressed.
Yeah. And then I went home, found out, got poison ivy all over my ankles. I was miserable.
That is the worst day. That's a rough day.
That was horrible. I stayed with him for 3 years.
Yeah.
At this point, I had started testosterone like after we had been dating for like a year or so, I think. A significant amount of time.
Yeah.
He wasn't out to his family and I wasn't out to my grandparents, so I was cool with it until I started tea. And then once I started tea, I was like, are you gonna tell him? Because I'm not gonna shave my beard.
Yeah, we're not gonna try to get sneaky about this.
Yeah, and if they say something, then I'm gonna tell them.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not gonna lie to them about being trans. I'm just keeping it from them right now, like for your sake. And I know it's not. I hate being misgendered. You know, I hate it. At a certain point, it was like, okay, this, like, I moved out of my grandparents' house, so it was like,
yeah,
I'm not going to be dealing with this for much longer. I'm not dealing with it from my own mother. What makes you think I'm gonna?
Right.
No.
No.
You know, like
absolutely not.
So
boundaries.
He kept saying, you know, I'm working on it. Mm-hmm. And after 3 years of hearing that,
yeah.
And we moved out, like he wasn't living with them. We moved in together. Like there was no reason.
Yeah.
There was no reason.
Right.
You were on your own already. Why didn't you? Why?
Right.
So clearly he wasn't ready, and I wasted my time.
Right.
And energy in this relationship that like for fucking nothing.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah. Did you ever like, well, I made a lot of poor decisions in that time out of like lack of like me missing something in the relationship. And like, yeah, I can, yeah, I can totally see.
Yeah. Like I stayed with him because I didn't think that I could get something else
Right.
for sure.
Oh, I see.
You know, I was
Yeah.
newly on testosterone. I had been with him through it, and
Okay.
it's just kind of like I don't know how to be this person yet.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know how to date as this person that's kind of like in between. I
Mhm.
don't know
Yeah.
who would be attracted to me.
Did you come out while you
And
were with them?
well, I came out as a trans man before I started testosterone, way before I was with
Yeah.
him.
So you were out as a, yeah.
Yeah, I was already Bo he him,
Yeah.
but
Okay. I see.
for his sake, I was Bo she her to his parents.
Cringe.
Yeah, so it was I fucking hate it.
Yeah, that's rough. Absolutely.
And I
not.
would like I wouldn't change how I dressed or how I acted or anything.
Yeah.
I'd show up fully bound, wearing button ups and dad
Ready to go.
caps.
Yeah, you're coming. Yeah. They
Like your boyfriend shows up with the like your son with a beard shows up with a stud and says, "This is my girlfriend." I'm not stud. A stud is black specific, so I'm not a stud. A mask presenting person.
Yeah.
Your straight son with a beard shows up with a mask presenting person.
Mhm.
Like, and you don't think anything? I mean, like, okay,
well,
whatever.
and you think they would know?
Fine.
You think they would know their like, you know, they also know their son. You know what I mean? They've had their son a long time. You know,
Yeah.
they. That's interesting.
It's just, yeah, it was just super fucking weird.
Yeah, not it. No, that like that. Now that last part reminded me way more of my next one, which is like being like I like making myself stay and trying to make it work in a relationship, even though I knew that I wasn't happy. And like,
yes,
to the point where I was like, I'm going to get a tattoo. Because that will make sure that I do not change my mind. So like your boy went hard at this. I was like, this is what we're doing. God damn it. Like I decide and that is it. For some reason, I had this like, I was convinced that I had to know who I was going to be with and who I was going to marry at 18. I don't know what the deal was there, but I was just like, I'm going to have that figured out so I can move on and like do the fun stuff. And it was, I don't know why I put so much stress on myself at that time and at that time, but I was staying with this person because I knew that I didn't want to be alone. I didn't want to start over. I didn't want, it was like, that was all exhausting. Like it's this or this, and that is it. And that was so toxic, and it lasted for 3 years. Which and like it was like slowly, like my mental illness is the part that suffered, and it was like a slow gradual, you know, you're crying every other month, and then you're crying every month, and then you're crying every other week, and then all the way down to every day, and it like slowly starts to take a toll. And after that 3 years, I mean, we had tried everything to make it work. We moved away from family, we've moved closer to family, we got better jobs, we were making better money, we got better house, all these things that were making, like we were trying to like fix things with. And my mental health was just like, that's it, that's enough, like that's all we can take. And I like straight up had like panic attack, like had to reevaluate everything. And that's when I moved to Tennessee to be with my nanny. My nana had a lot of experience with mental illness, and I knew I had a lot of her mental illnesses that I was trying to like shove away and like didn't want to deal with. And she was like, you know, sweetie, I'm not gonna, you know, make you deal with it until you want to deal with it. So eventually I just called her and I was like, can I come home? She was like, of course, sweetie. And when? And I said, tomorrow. And she said, well, that's a long ways from Oregon. So, but no, that was the worst one, is, you know, trying to convince myself so hard that despite what I thought was right, or what myself was telling myself in the mirror, or even the tattoo that's permanent. Like I thought this would make it permanent, and it just didn't quite do it. And I like, again, it was a waste.
Yeah.
It was a waste of my time. It was a waste of her time, and yeah, lessons that we learn, and we wish we could go back, but didn't, and that's why we're making this episode for you.
Thankfully, I have never tattooed someone's name on my body.
That is a genius idea.
I reserve that for pets and children only.
Exclusively. Yeah.
And also people who have passed away. Because at that point, if you're willing to get their name, then they're not going to do anything bad.
Yeah, things are not going to change.
Right. Yeah. So that's it. Memorials, pets, and children.
Yeah. No, big mistake.
That's it.
Big mistake. Big cover up. Big all the things. But we're here now.
Yeah.
We're here now. What do you got?
Okay, I guess it's my turn.
Yeah, you got another one?
I do.
Tell me. Bro, give it to me.
Okay, this one's another two-parter. One's the first date, and one was kind of like the second date.
Yeah.
All right. So,
is this the trigger warning one?
No. I'll say.
Okay.
This one is like we knew each. I don't even know how we fucking met, TBH, but she was one of my first experiences with women, and this was when I was like 17, 18, and also kind of 19, 20.
Yeah, sure.
It was kind of like a long-lasting situationship, and so I first got drunk with her, and this girl was not well. She was not well, and I don't know. She was friends with people that I went to college with, and so it was easy to be around her because I was also already familiar with her. But and also, like college culture is just like not well.
Yeah.
So it was just like kind of she was fighting her own demons. But anyway, I would get drunk with her a lot. And the first time I got drunk was with her. And we were in this like abandoned trailer that kids would go to just be nefarious, smoke weed and drink and have sex and shit. And it was not up to code. Should have been taken down. There was
probably why I was abandoned in the first place.
Yeah, there was a dirty mattress on the floor, and
rough.
We were drinking fucking pop-off vodka straight out of fucking Dixie cups on the broken chair on the moldy fucking table. Yeah. And then we were marking how many shots we did on our arm with pen, and I did fucking 9 shots. The first time I got drunk, I did fucking 9 shots of straight pop-off vodka.
Bro.
The very first time. Yeah, I was litty titty, and she did fucking like 12. And she was like half my size. So yeah, we ended up making out on that fucking disgusting mattress.
Yeah.
And I just can't, like, the things that you do when you're a kid. It's fucking disgusting.
You don't eat, and you oh god, no.
Oh my god, I can't believe how I've never had tetanus. I don't know. Maybe it's because I got the booster shot, but
you got lucky.
Fuck,
you got lucky.
I don't understand.
No, man. Absolutely not.
So that was my first kind of date with her, and then so like my second date, I guess it was kind of a date. It was there was a party at the dorms at the art school I was at, and it was a no pants party. because that's a thing that happens at college.
Cool.
I'm not condoning it, but I did participate. And so, obviously at a no pants party, you take your pants off, you leave your underwear on. And, it's nothing crazy happens. At least not at the ones that I went to.
It's your pants, no pants parties.
It's literally just no pants. It's a regular party,
No
except you're not wearing pants. Mm-hmm. And then, good luck finding your pants later because everybody's pants are just kind of everywhere.
Yeah.
But so anyway, we were playing Spin the Bottle, which I guess is something weird at a no pants party, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, nothing really
to get the full context of your situation.
Yeah.
I am.
So well, everybody's drinking and it's like a 2-floor apartment. So there's some of us that are upstairs listening to music and some of us started playing Spin the Bottle. So we're playing Spin the Bottle and I'm also there with a guy who I know is really into that girl that I'm also there with. But he knows that she's gay. And so we spin the bottle and she spins the bottle and it lands on me and she grabs my face and we just fucking start making out right in front of this guy who is in love with her. And so he gets all huffy puffy and he leaves and I feel so bad. I feel so bad because I know that he is in love with her, but also she's a lesbian. I'm sorry. Right. At the time I was a girl. So she wouldn't, it's not
the different ball, different field.
Yeah. Still, I feel like it was a dick move to make out right in front of him, but also I did, I was drunk and she clearly wanted to kiss me. You're
not gonna shove her off you.
She did that whole
you're spitting the bottle
thing. My head. Yeah. She's spinning the bottle because she wants to participate with the activities and spin the bottle.
Right. Yep. True.
And she was clearly happy. She grabbed my face and was like,
oh my God, she was going. She was going.
Oh my God, yeah. So, I guess that one wasn't really bad. I mean, the only bad part was the straight guy who got all fucking fussy, but
yeah. But still,
from what I can remember of the evening, it was fantastic.
Yeah. That's good though. That's the win. Another one.
Do you have any other ones?
No, bro.
Me?
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
All right.
I mean,
well, then
I didn't set up any other specific examples. I mean, yeah.
That's okay.
I definitely had more dating mistakes, but I didn't set up more examples.
I got some more. Don't worry.
Give me what you
got. I went to. Do you know what LARPing is, Aaron?
Yes, live action role play.
Fuck yeah. Okay.
Role models.
So,
what is that movie? You know what I'm talking about? What are you laughing about?
Who was in that movie?
You know what I'm talking about?
I think so, but I just
like the kid that they're like.
What's it that have Vince Vaughn in it?
I don't know names of actors, but it's
oh my God.
It's about those kids that they want to sign up for Big Brother, Big Sister.
Yeah. I think it might be one of those Vince Vaughn movies.
Yep, it was. Okay, sorry. Go ahead. That's how I know what LARPing is.
That was just. Yeah, that's just hilarious that's what you know it is. Oh,
well, whatever.
I love that. But some of us have had the trauma of finding out what it is. Okay, wait. This sounds like I'm giving shade to people who LARP. Okay, LARPing is fucking cool, and I really like looking at it. And the Renaissance Fair is basically one big LARP, and I love the Renaissance Fair, and I can get into it.
I'd try it.
This just wasn't it. First of all, it was such a sausage fest. And the women that were there were very. Yeah, it's a date. So I went there with this guy who LARPs
Yeah.
It was a Vampire the Masquerade LARP. Okay. And he was like a regular at this LARP. Like they have a whole like they have like a storyline and stuff going actively, and like he goes there often. So he brought me, and I was really excited because I was like, oh cool, I can make a character and I can play as a character and stuff, and that was really cool. So I was really looking forward to that because like I like playing D&D. And my favorite part about games is character customization. Like I will spend days on a character. You don't even understand. But I was also really excited. I was thinking about it on the drive there. Like, obviously, I have to get a character put together like today, so I don't want to go too crazy. And obviously, I guess they'll be killed off at the end of today because I'm not coming back. So I had a whole death planned out and everything. And when I got there and I went to go like ask him, like, hi, I'm here with him and you know, just as a guest, and I just wanted to play for today. And they're like, play for today? That's not how it works. And I was like, can it be? Like if I died today, because I could die today. I was planning on dying today. And they were like, just like super like, I don't know, scoffy with me. And they said that I couldn't create a character today. Like it's like this whole process or whatever. And I'm like, okay, that's made up, but sure. So I had to be the guy that I was with's ghoul. And apparently in this specific LARP, what that meant was every time someone told me to change a light bulb, I had to pretend to change a light bulb.
I see.
That was it. That was all I did. I followed him around, and every time everyone told me to change a light bulb, I changed a light bulb, which they told me to do every time he introduced me as his ghoul. I couldn't talk to anybody because I'm a brainless ghoul. All I do is follow people around and change light bulbs. It was literally infuriating.
Like, I just want to play too.
Yeah, and all the women there were very pick-me, and it was just like...
That's very strange. Was it your first date or like...
It was not our first date.
No.
Oh my God. But no. Do you remember, I've talked about this so many times. Do you remember when we were talking about the dating one where I said that I got into the car with these people that I never met, drove to their house and smoked what wasn't weed that gave me a seizure, and then the guy touched my feet to calm me down, and then I realized he had a foot fetish? This is that guy. This is the foot guy. I went on a date with him.
Oh. Oh my God. Okay, everyone, if you're listening to this episode right now, one of the other episodes that is on our thing is about our dating experiences, and you're gonna have to check that one out. That one was we'll give all the details of Bo's interesting experience with.
So yeah. Don't get in strange people's cars. Don't smoke things that you don't know where it came from.
Facts.
Don't go on dates with people who grab your feet under suspicious conditions.
Yeah, like,
and that's how I found out that he had a foot fetish, and I put two and two together because while we were dating, he was all about my feet.
Yeah, I see.
And then he like kind of confessed that that's why he touched my feet. I was like, well, thank you for dating me. Like, how did you know? And he was like, well, you just have such pretty feet. And I was like, okay, thank you.
Oh, okay. I see where this is going. Thank you for giving me that signal.
So, and also, okay, here's where, because I did say that there were some triggering events that happened on bad dates. Which I'm going to talk about now. So if you're not ready to hear that kind of thing, please click away. But I also think that this is something important to think about because it's a reality for women and femme-presenting people, and even men, though at a smaller percentage. So you gotta know. It seems like common sense, but children young teens, they don't often have a lot of that yet.
Or they have
And-
it, but they choose to ignore it. I feel like a lot
Right.
of times they have those skills, they know the right answer, but they're either they're excited, they're like you know, they're in love, or they're in these a lot of different emotions that are really heightened. So I think that
Mhm.
sometimes they do have the common sense. I think they choose to not utilize it. At least that's what
Yeah. And I also think that the frontal lobe of the brain is still forming while you're a teenager, and that's the part that dictates judgment.
Yeah,
So
I see.
that's why I think it's easier to make bad decisions as a child, where like now I'm looking at the shit and I'm like, how the fuck am I alive?
How did I do that?
I'm like,
This. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to
me?
interrupt
This was
you.
me?
Yeah, yeah.
So it's easy. So like give him some slack, but also let's get into it. So
Okay.
triggering events. Okay. So I went on a date with this guy. It was kind of like hooked up from a friend, and because my friend was dating his friend, and so my friend was like, oh, it would be cute if you dated this guy, because then we could go on double dates and it'd be like best friends double dates or whatever. And it was so cute. So I went on a date with him, and our first date, date, oh my god, he picked me up and he had like an SUV or whatever, a Hummer or something. I just remember it being really big. And we just drove around and talked, and then we parked in an empty Burger King parking lot and had sex for like 8 hours.
That is so
in the back seat of his car.
That is so long to be at a Burger King park. No one came and checked on you?
No.
Wow.
No. The Burger King was closed.
Oh.
And so then the sun came up. And so I had expressed my boundaries previously. At this point in time, I wasn't very comfortable going down on people with penises, and I told him that. I told him that I'd be willing to do it for a little bit, but I did not want him to finish in my mouth. That was a hard line. And I also told him not to touch me while he was doing it, because people have a habit of holding my head down.
Yeah.
And I don't like that.
Yeah.
Let me have control over my own breathing. And so I told him that beforehand, and I proceed to go down on him, and he holds my head down and he finishes in my mouth while holding my head down. I start retching, and I go to open the door, but he has them locked. He has the child lock, so I can't get out. And so I spit up and throw up on his floor.
Yeah.
And then he starts getting pissed off at me about it. And I was like, I told you not to do the thing that you did.
That's like,
and then
so specific, like it's specific things that he has specifically ignored. And
yes, I said them specifically. Not many people are as specific as me.
I was about to say, like, I was also going to say, like, that is very good of you to speak up, like, hard boundaries on what I do want and don't want out of this, you know?
Yeah.
So for deliberately disobey, like, that's not it.
Yeah, if it were up to me completely, I mean, I guess it was, but I felt pressure that I like had to go down on him.
Right.
No matter what, because that's just what I see all the time.
Yeah. Right.
You know, foreplay was always like the girl going down on the guy.
Yeah.
And then they have sex and the girl finishes first. And like, obviously it's unrealistic, and I didn't enjoy it. And if it were up to me, without any pressure, I would have just said I didn't want to do it at all.
Yeah.
But I was like, okay, I'll do this, but keep your hands to yourself and don't finish in my mouth.
Yeah. No.
So he finishes while holding my head down, and it was like I couldn't breathe. It was so uncomfortable.
That's terrible.
Fuck that guy. Yeah, I was so fucking upset, and I felt so unsafe because I was very far from my home and he was the one who drove me. So I was like upset.
Yeah.
But then I'm I'm sorry, I'll clean it up. I'll clean it up tomorrow or whatever. And I actually didn't want to wait until tomorrow because I never wanted to see him again. So I was like, you know what? I'm actually just going to clean it now. Like, wait a second, I'll get my cleaning stuff. And I went inside and I got the stuff. I cleaned off the rug or whatever. It was like one of those pull-out rugs, so it was fine. And I was like, see ya. Peace out, Girl Scout.
Wow. That is a nice.
That was horrible.
And clean up that after that was his problem. Wow. Yeah. So what were there red flags that you could have like seen coming, or were you like in a regular relationship with this person? Or I mean, you don't have to answer these, obviously.
We were very like sex focused.
Yeah. It wasn't your first date though, right?
That was our first date.
Oh, okay, I see. That's okay, I see. That's terrible.
And yeah.
That's awful.
Yeah, cuz like we were like sexual before that. It wasn't like, but that was like a date. We were like,
yeah.
Talking to each other and stuff about a relationship, and it was like,
right.
I don't know. It seemed like every time before that it was just like quickie, so it was like
yeah, not like a date.
I wouldn't get like extra sexual, but like, yeah, like
yeah, no, it was yeah, no,
it had just never been a problem before.
Right.
He was not doing that as much. And yeah, it was but that's not the only one. So here's the next, and this is with the same foot guy. This next triggering one is with the same foot guy.
Yeah.
So this guy was just bad all the way around.
Mm-hmm.
So we had been in what I thought was a relationship, an exclusive relationship, and we were exclusively having sex with each other, and he kept pressuring anal. And I kept saying, no, I'm not comfortable with that. And then he was like, have you ever tried it? And I was like, no. And he's like, well, then how do you know? And I'm like, because I just know, because it's not comfortable, because like, I have a vagina and I want to use that. That's why. Like, I don't need to.
Yeah.
How do you know you're not gay? Like, have you ever had sex with a man?
You're like,
no.
Let me flip this around on you.
Right. So it's he just kept pressuring me every time I said no, until my no wore down. And I was just like, I just gave up, and I was like, all right, fine. It was not fine. It was painful for me. I didn't enjoy it, and I knew I wouldn't enjoy it. It wasn't fun. Yeah. And like, he got pissed at me because I was doing things wrong that was making it uncomfortable for me, and there's no reason why I shouldn't be enjoying this and stuff. And
no, that's
like
terrible.
Fuck that. Fuck that.
No, dude.
That's so fucked up.
That's not how dating works. Not how that sex works.
He was constantly trying to change me as a person. He was like super into this game called Second Life or something, and there was like clubs you could go to in Second Life, and you could like customize your characters and stuff, and there were always like girls in the clubs who were white with like micro braids, with like colorful micro braids and shit, and he was always trying to get me to get micro braids, and I'm like, No.
That's very specific. That's
What the
very
fuck?
specific again. That was the same
It's
foot guy?
so. Yes.
Yeah. That's some very specific things.
Yes. Oh my God. He took me to meet his parents, and I went to the hospital with him when his appendix exploded. And then he moved to Canada to go to school. And then as soon as he moved, he was like, I think you should sleep around because you're a bad lay and we're not going to be dating anymore. And that was fun while it lasted and all this stuff.
Did you laugh out loud? Did you laugh out loud?
No, it traumatized me. And then that's when I went on that date with the guy who held my head down.
Oh my God,
I went on that date immediately after because I was like, sleep with more people? Fucking bet.
Oh my, oh my gosh. Oh, bro.
I'll fuck a guy for 8 hours in a parking lot. Sleep with more people. Fuck you.
Oh my God. Dude, that is terrible. These are some rough experiences, my people. We're here dishing them. What advice would you give to younger Bo in those experiences at that time?
Oh my God. If someone doesn't accept your boundary immediately, just walk out the door. Don't waste your time.
You don't have to explain.
There should be no arguing. There should be nothing more than that. I have this boundary. There should be like, okay. And if that's a deal breaker for them, they should be like, well, that's a deal breaker for me, but you know,
thank you for
good
telling
luck.
me. Yeah.
You know, yeah. On your way, Merry travels.
Moving on.
We should not be arguing about your boundaries.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is a huge red flag. Absolutely. And second red flag, being in the closet.
Yeah.
Like if you're also in the closet and it helps for you to date somebody that's also in the closet, and like that's something that you share and like you're working through and stuff, that's fine. But that can be really tricky when your timelines don't line up.
Yeah. And exhausting.
And yeah, one of you could be ready to be out of the closet and you're out, but all of a sudden your partner isn't. So that means you can't either.
Right.
And you can't come out for them.
Yeah.
You know, it's got to be on their own time. You can't force that on them. And as frustrating as it is, especially, you know, you and me both coming from 3-year relationships where that was extremely frustrating. It's like you want to just go up to their parents and be like, hey, your kid's gay. Like, I'm a man. Like, right. You know, or.
Yeah. That was my first relationship. Yeah. And I just think that's not it. That's not it. I think you have to remember that even though there's like toxicity, that toxicity is still toxicity, even if it's not stuff that even if you love them so much, even if you're incredibly attracted to them, or the sex is great, or you're just so in love with them, or you both have like magical moments where you like lift each other up and things, that's still a toxic situation where you have to look at and be like, this is an area of toxicity. Just because all these other parts are great, you still have to respect that part of it being toxic and you have to look at it. Otherwise it'll make way bigger implications on your life and your mental health. Yeah. The longer you wait, especially. Yeah. Well, Aaron, I think that's about enough cringing for me. That's good for me. My God, I'm like, should we even post this? This is so embarrassing. We're gonna do it, but we are. This once again, not always our easiest shares, but you guys ask us questions. You guys reply all the time. We appreciate comments or you guys DMing us about enjoying the podcast. So if you guys message us, asking us for episodes, you boys are gonna give it to you with our boundaries already in place before you even click it. So it'll be a nice, easy conversation, and we're just here to help you guys. We love you, and don't judge us on what you've heard in this episode. Just don't do it. You asked for it. You clicked it. You listened. That's your business. But that's all I got. Love you guys. Me too. You guys are amazing. We'll see you in the next one.